Gamaphile is a local pre-publication writing platform that makes use of technology and social media to discover and celebrate otherwise unrealized writing talent. So it is a creative outlet for aspiring authors to showcase their work and gives readers the opportunity to access and engage with new stories that exist outside of the mainstream literary channels. Avela Gronemeyer joins us on the couch today to tell the inspiration behind Gamaphile. How are you?
I'm well, thank you.
I was doing the voiceovers for this yesterday and we were all laughing because instead of saying Gamaphile, I kept on saying Gama Phile.
Yes.
But actually it can work both ways, hey?
It works a number of ways. I think that's what we liked about it as word nerds, because Gamaphile, Gama means in isiXhosa word or name. Phile in Latin is lover of, so lover of words. At the same time, if you have your Gamaphile, your word file, you can also have Gamaphile. Phile refers to life, health, so you can live through words. So I think that's one of the things we liked about the name, is that it worked in so many various ways.
Exactly, so now I can say it in all those ways. No, it doesn't matter.
You're welcome.
How did the idea come about and what does it actually aim to do?
So the idea came about through personal experience, which we then worked to validate with other writers.
Okay.
It's just the struggle.
So you're a writer, obviously.
Yes.
Okay.
The struggle of getting published and trying to find out who to contact and to get in touch with. And my experience was it was very difficult to actually reach people if I didn't know people who knew people. And to get to a point where my work was read, I actually had to do a lot of networking, which is not something that every writer can actually do or wants to do. And there's also cases where writers have spoken about submitting to those official, submission email addresses and never hearing back. And my sense was that actually there's so many great stories and so many stories that ought to be told and so much we need to read, including encouraging reading. So my mind started working on the idea of how can we actually do something that's going to expose writers, allow writers to focus on what they're good at and actually expose good writing and present it and put it at the top and elevate it, so that publishers can see it, so that readers can see it, so that we can actually, build a literary scene that actually has interaction between writers and readers that actually motivates for those writings when they're good and good quality to actually get exposure and get published.
How does it work though? Can anybody submit and then does it go through a quality control process and then can anybody access it? So can anyone read those stories or only publishers or people in publishing and in the literary world?
So writers can go on the platform and post their stories, and then people who want to read at any time, at any given time, can read those stories, right? And through that reading and that review feedback and that interaction, the stories start to generate statistics. Where you see how many times they've been read, you see how well a story is rated, and that creates then a leaderboard that shows which are the top stories at any given time.
Okay.
And anybody who registers on the platform can read it. But what is powerful is that the statistics behind it are actually going to be the door openers, where a writer can say, listen, I'm getting read. I'm getting well rated. Let's have a conversation. Publishers can also register and have a look at who's on there to try and find those kind of bankable authors. And one of the key things that we're building into it is a celebration of storytelling. So the more you write, the more you post, and the more your work is read, the more badges, for example, you'll end up with. And one of the things we want to also enable is for writers to test sell their work. So what we're going to be doing is, as a writer, I would be able to post, right? And then people read it, I get some feedback, I improve my story, but at some point, after a certain number of free reads, I can maybe put a price to it and just see if that commercial testability, sellability is actually coming across. And that is even more powerful in terms of illustrating the commercial viability of your work.
You know, I read the other day that it takes something like 600 books in South Africa for an author to become a bestseller. We need more people reading. So I think as many people that can get access to good work is the best idea ever.
Yes.
Have you had any success? Have any of your stories been published already from the Gamaphile platform?
So on our platform, we're releasing the functionality in tranches. So what we're doing right now is we're running a competition until the 4th of March. It's a writer's competition. Any African writer can submit by the 4th of March, a short story collection or a novel. And the people who will submit by that point will go into a public voting process. And this is one of the things that the platform does.
Amazing.
Is to actually leverage the crowd to actually elevate those stories.
Great.
So we're going to promote the platform. We're going to encourage writers to actually promote their own work as well, so that that readership goes up, so that that elevation happens. And one of the exciting things is that we've got a partnership with one of South Africa's leading publishers, that's Penn Macmillan, who's going to then look at the submissions, the leading submissions. We're going to have a judges panel with great writers, legendary storytellers like Gama Phile and Novuyo Chuma, who are going to then select that potentially winning publication.
Wow. Amazing. Thank you so much for sharing this with us. And of course, all of the information on Gamaphile and the competition, of course, will be available on our website, afternoonexpress.co.za.